all of man's senses and
Who am I here with?
this is Celeste of South Park Meadows,
South
South
Park.
Austin. You know, it's like that spot on the board of Monopoly where you put 500 bucks under the map, or you take 500 from the bank and you put that under the map. And if anybody lands on free parking, like that's where we're at. We technically get free parking. People just steal our shit all the time. So I mean, that sucks. But plenty of people get their shit stolen all the time, no matter where they're at. So really, like, I guess it's pretty nice to live with a bunch of cats. Like, I guess that's what it comes down to. Like, good people, a bunch of cats. You know, we don't really get fucked with too much from the outside, not in a while at least. I think that this is a pretty cool place to be, and it's a city I was born in, so I'd rather be here than like somewhere else, just for that sake alone. You know, I've left and I've returned. I've decided I'd prefer to be here, but if I have to leave again one day, then so be it. I just hope I don't.
How long have you been here?
Pretty much my whole life, except for like 2 months in New Orleans and like 1 month and a half in California, and like 1 month in El Paso. So other than that, I pretty much, well, San Antonio I lived for like a year, I guess, a long time ago. Leon Valley, Valero.
What has been your experience living here for that long?
Honestly, it's pretty pleasant. I do like the Barton Springs area, and I started out kind of downtown at the Drag, which is like the worst place you could go to if you're out on the streets or whatever, like Desperado. It will drag you down for sure, but it will drag you all the way down, so you can't really go much further than that. So once you get all the way to the true bottom of, you know, the totem pole, then you realize like totem poles are probably not very effective, or like they're confusing anyways. Like, I'm not a shaman, I don't really know how they work, but if I was to use relics or idols, it'd probably just be like a naked chick or something, like a poster, or maybe an anime figurine, like from the anime convention, or a little plushie, or desperate times, you know, draw it myself, you know, and hopefully I get better at art than I was just by hand, because I'm pretty. I consider myself fairly well versed with like electronic mediums, at least like just vagabond creative, like any random projects that like seem like a good idea or look cool. I probably have like hundreds of thousands of pictures that I've actually made, and like stages of their progression of like different digital art, but I don't really like do anything with that stuff. And really, I've got so much over time that I probably lost a bunch, and then I probably don't even remember like a good majority of the stuff that I made. But when I see it again, sometimes like it brings it back just to see it, or see where it started from, because some of them have different source origins, like, and I branched them out and made like 5 or 6 different major versions just from like a certain turning point where I liked where it was going at one stage, and I save every stage of the progression just as a digital, you know, image, so I can continue to go a different direction, or look at how it progressed, or decide if I want to just like keep the original that I started with from somebody else. And like, I really want to start drawing shit by hand though on the digital mediums, and I think it's been challenging, especially without a stylus like device. But I'm trying to do it without a stylus, without a like tablet that's meant for it. I prefer to do it with like shit that you might have, or like the average person might have access to, or most people are gonna have at a point. I don't mean like broken screens and shit, like unresponsive controllers. Like, that shit is annoying, and that shit's frustrating. Like, when you're actually trying to like in real time either compose music, or like, you know, operate on a game or whatever it is. Like, even if it's not competitive, if you're just trying to like, if you have an image in your mind or an idea, you're aiming for something, then it's difficult to be precise if your tools are not at least like in fair condition. You know, it may not have to be perfect, but I prefer it to be perfect for me at least.
Celeste,
Like,
the audience is curious to know what inspires the makeup.
um, that's a good question. I guess colors themselves, colors and textures. Like, some shit I was fucking with. Like, I had some paint marker, chrome paint marker, and I put some on like a couple different surfaces to see like how I could get it to come out and like what color it would come up as. And until I put it on the blue, like, I really wasn't seeing the chrome or the silver, like the reflective shit. Until I put it on the blue colored plastic or whatever. Not even this, but this particular thing. But I'm actually referring to just like small like pieces of like on the very front of my bike over there. I put like a little bit of silver, just like testing it on to see if it would come out on different.
Are any of those e-bikes for sale?
Um, let me think here. This might be a good chance to possibly outreach to promote maybe now. I only have two e-bikes, but I do like them both so far. Now I plan to probably order another battery to, get those devices both charging. They both share a charger right now. It's one thing, and then I had one bike that I bought from somebody that was a little more sketchy than these ones in terms of its history, and I didn't even ride that one once before it got jacked for me. So my lesson learned is that I got to watch my shit like a hawk, and then even then, if people want something bad enough, they're gonna come get it one way or another. And I knew when I bought it, somehow I knew I wasn't gonna get to ride it one time at least, but I had the idea that if I got certain things done, certain orders, that I would actually be able to get the parts and the charger needed for it. And it was a really cool looking bike too. But the person who took it, I mean, they did it because I didn't want to sell it to them at the time for what they had. I was trying to work with them and hear them out and be fair and be reasonable, but I just didn't find enough stuff that I'd be interested in. Like, there was no real cash on the table. I was actually giving them cash at the time, and just trying to see if I could at least break even or not lose too much out on that trade if I was going to do a favor for somebody. But then dude turns around and just steals it as soon as I didn't want to trade it, So I guess I'm kind of glad that I didn't make a good deal and trade it to him, thinking that he's a good person to have around my area or the things that I might spend resources on. Just because that if somebody would betray you like that right then for that reason, then they're probably going to be willing to play you out for a while until they get a good opportunity to get something that they really want, that they know that you have. So, and I mean, that could be your cats, that could be it could be some social status, a title, it could be a person's relationship, it can be a job, it can be all sorts of things that people tend to get envious about at certain times for whatever reason, or they have a poor ability to have self-control, or if something seems like it's within their grasp, then they're going to go ahead and try and reach for it with all their strength and all their fucking energy. So I mean, you really want to fight someone to the death over a $10 torch and a couple cigarettes? Probably not. But people have died over those things on the streets in this city. I know a dude at Barton Springs who got turned some college kid down for a cigarette at a gas station, and the dude just bludgeoned him in the head, almost killed him.
College kid?
Yeah. I guess the dude was drunk, but he asked for a cigarette, and the dude said, "It's my only one," and he almost got killed. He got seriously hurt from that. Still, probably the rest of his life he'll be recovering, I think, from those injuries. So, I mean, that's over one cigarette, and that being said, I mean, anyone could die for any reason, but there's plenty of reasons to live. Life, I feel, is very fragile, very unique, but very worthwhile, because we're all alive. Like our grandparents, our parents, they made a path for us somehow, or somehow we crawled out from some science experiments or whatever, woke up in an android vessel and became biological eventually. I don't know, Darwin, whatever. I'm not really too obsessed with the past, but I do like archaeology, history, geology, gemstones, making things using elements of nature, or understanding the mechanics of the glass and the torch. I think those are really cool concepts to really engage in and to develop just one's own understanding and relationship with those ideas. Other than that, that stuff, it's just general relativity and just general basic physics conceptually, not even algebraic or geometric in aspects. Just back in the day, even in the Bible, they said some shit Jesus had mentioned that the heat would cause a rising effect of the air. So they knew even back then that the heat was causing the air to rise, and that the cold was causing the air to sink lower towards the ground. So I mean, that may seem very simple and very oh, of course, everyone knows that, but really, when you reorient yourself in that way, you can always kind of be grounded and have a place to stand on, unless you're climbing up trees in Atlanta or something. And I don't know why anyone would ever do that, but I did visit there once for a week. Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Their trees are like 5 or 6 times as tall as these trees. And I mean they're everywhere. Like you can't even see the tops of them. They're so tall.
What is this camp mean to you?
It means a lot to me. It means a lot of memories, and even before we were here, there's a lot of things here. It means also a relentless effort that I've made to stick with this area and with the people of this area, to stand my ground instead of running away. Like I used to have a tendency to flee from everything and everybody almost all the time, with the exception for like certain things I was running to along the way. But really I was just like running from everything. That's why I left this city in the first place.
What up?
And that's
What up, buddy?
what led me back here eventually, but not without